All right, so our next speaker basically needs no real major introduction because she is a household name within Australia, but I'm going to do justice to my job and really give her the credit she deserves. Tanya is an Australian actress and television presenter who acts in Bollywood. From 1996 until 1998, Zaida co-hosted the Seven Network adventure show Who Dares Win alongside Mike Whitney. She is also a natural beauty therapist and Pilates instructor. She has released an online Pilates weight loss program aimed at building a better body. So she's going to talk to us about how having a better body. Can you please be on your feet and let's make some noise this morning for the beautiful, the fantastic, the talented, the brilliant Tanya Zayati is in the house. Go make some noise for her.
Hello. Very nice. I just saw then my little flat stomach. I hope it's a flat stomach today. I had a big breakfast pop up on the screen when I gave you a hug. Good morning, everyone. Tanya Zaida is my name. While you're standing up, please stand up for a second. Who knows about Pilates here? Anyone tried it? Ladies, especially ladies, back problems after childbirth, get a nice tight belly also. Men, same, back problems, hip problems. While you're standing there right now, I'm going to give you a quick 30-second introduction of Pilates. So point your toes towards me. Bend those knees ever so slightly. Now draw your belly button all the way back in towards your spine and try to close your hips together. Feel instantly how your belly is nice and flat. Perfect. Now, what happens then is the bum sticks out. So slightly tuck your pelvis under and roll those shoulders back. Well done. You all have the most perfect posture, and that's what Pilates is all about. Give yourself a round of applause and sit down. Very nice. So before I go into all of that side, a little bit about me. Now, many of you, I'm sure, will know me from this show. Who remembers Who Dares Wins? Can you believe that photo was 20 years ago this year? So that's Mike Whitney and I co-hosting Who Dares Wins, which went all around the world and was on air in 80 countries at the height of it. So it was seen throughout AXN network throughout the world 11 times a day. So you couldn't help but see the bloody show. So leading to its popularity. So here's some of the things I used to do. I was known as Australians' action girl. So we filmed straight for 4 years without any break. The show was so popular here in Australia and then going out and branching off overseas. So I lived my life pretty much in a harness and carabiners, jumping off buildings, swimming with sharks, climbing ladders under helicopters. If you remember the premise of the show, we went out and dared people to do all these life-threatening action challenges, and if they didn't do it, then it was swung over to me just to give it my best shot, and that was about all I would do because I'm scared of absolutely everything. So how I managed to get through the half those days, I have no idea. Here's some of the things I did. For a girl who's scared of heights, there I am. That's me right up the top near the end of the crane there, climbing out of that car suspended and climbing all the way up the ladder. Here's me, that's me in the red right the way at the top, climbing an ice glacier in New Zealand. That was a bad day because we had an avalanche and the helicopters couldn't come back in to get us, so we had to spend about 14 hours walking out by foot. So sometimes filming didn't always go to plan, but we're here to tell the stories. Here's another one, jumping between two boats, doing about, I don't know what it is, 30 knots or something along a river, and that's my superwoman shot. Whenever anyone says to me, but you're not superwoman, I am. Look, I swear I am superwoman. I can fly. So with Who Dares Wins being popular throughout India and Asia, it led me into India. And so the network, American network that had the rights to Who Dares Wins throughout the world, took Mike Whitney and I in to film in India. It was mental. It's the kind of thing that if you're lucky as an entertainer or TV and film, if you're lucky in your career, you might just get that big show once. And Mike and I had it both in Australia and then with the new versions we filmed of Who Dares Wins in India. It was so big that we were filming within cricket grounds in India, and they would declare a national holiday in most places that we went to film because it was just chaos with crowds. We had 200 security to get Mike and I through, so really humbling days when you look back at experiences like that. So from that, it led me into Bollywood because I couldn't leave the hotels throughout our filming with all of the crowds everywhere. So I suddenly just was stuck in a hotel room in between filming in India and watching the TV, which was all Bollywood, listening to the radio, Bollywood songs, reading the newspaper, or Bollywood and cricket, of course. And so I became an expert in Bollywood. And by the time one of the journalists asked me, do you know anything about Bollywood? Do I know about Bollywood? What do you want to know? I've just spent 6 weeks holed up in a hotel learning everything about it. So that led me into different films. If you can see here, wearing that pretty little sari, the 2 different saris. Led me into becoming one of the first foreigners to ever conquer the Bollywood film industry, which, as you might know, is the largest film industry in the world. So officially, it's 1 billion cinema tickets bigger than Hollywood. So 1 billion more Bollywood tickets are sold throughout cinemas in the world than Hollywood. So that's the enormity of it. And that's the entire world, not just in India, because it does encompass the entire world. So one of the films here, Salam Namaste. Anyone seen Salam Namaste? Couple of Indians here by any chance? Well, it's one of the top 17 Indian films ever put out. So I was very fortunate to have one of the 4 leading roles. You'll probably see it on SBS. The SBS replay about once a month here. So now I've said the name Salam Namaste, then have a look out for it. This was actually filmed in Australia, where I live now, Mornington Peninsula, which is ironic that I live there after filming. So my career has led me around the world to do some of the most amazing things and meet the most amazing people. Recently, I was the only person to have access to Kim Kardashian and do her entire tour in Australia, hosting all of her shopping centre appearances and cocktail parties. Jerry Hall recently, when she launched her book here. Jerry Lewis, king of comedy, makes me laugh non-stop. And of course, when I went into India, John Howard came and requested to meet with me and congratulate me on all the success that I'd had there. And I stood there in my sari, could not believe that John Howard knew my name. That was a pretty proud moment, because this is where I came from. This is where it all began. I'm a little country girl from a tiny outback town that most people in Australia have never even heard of, and that's called Merbeen, a little town outside of Mildura on the Murray River in Victoria. So I grew up and it was pretty desolate. We had my father had a building company and a brickworks. My mother had her own businesses, and so she was a nurse and then studied on to naturopath, iridology, and did her doctorate in alternate medicines, and had the first ever natural beauty therapy salon the first ever beauty salon it was originally in our area. So I was raised with 2 parents who both had their own businesses. So even though I was a little country girl, I watched my parents work hard, work smart, create opportunities for themselves, and so that then they could have the time to spend with us kids, and we'd go off on all of our camping trips around. So I think having 2 parents that have their own businesses, and being my brothers and I being raised with that kind of environment, meant that we all ended up going off and doing our own businesses ourselves. So we've never really worked for anyone and followed in mum and dad's footsteps. The one thing that they did teach my brothers and I was that you can do absolutely anything that you put your mind to. And every morning when I wake up, no matter what I'm challenged with, I always remember my parents' words of, you can do absolutely anything you put your mind to. No such word as can't. Doesn't even exist. Made up word. So that has really set up my entire career of then getting my secondary education in Melbourne for my schooling, and then ending up in modelling and going all around the world and doing some of the things that I've done. Never in my wildest dream did I think that I would have achieved as much as I have now. But each time I climb a few more rungs on the ladder and your direction changes, you get a little older, priorities change also, still climbing the rungs of the ladder, but things might be a little bit different. So these days I still work in the media. I have a book that's coming out very soon also, various TV shows, you'll probably see me pop up everywhere. And then I went on to study, anything possible, natural beauty therapy, and now Pilates instructor. So I knew that I wanted to create a fabulous lifestyle and my perfect lifestyle from a young age, which meant that I could be able to get paid to travel lots, have a job that I was passionate about, travel the world in style, meet inspiring people, be the healthiest and fittest that I could be, and all this means a good work-life balance, which is what I'm here to talk to you about. So it's great to go out there and create all of our wealth and work 1 million hours every week, but let's not forget the things that are important to us. Because the richest people in the world, the one thing that they cannot buy, no matter how many billions they have, they try, but at the end of the day, sometimes you can't always buy health. So it's important that we look after that the entire way through our wealth creation, especially in this day and age through a very stressful technology-savvy era that we live in, that we get off the phones. You'll see everyone's like this. I have a lot of young girls coming to my Pilates classes and on my registering for my online program because they spend all their time hunched over on phones and computers at school now, not being out moving enough. We carry laptop bags all the time and travel a lot, so often our backs are out of line for these reasons. So apart from the posture side of it, also health. Too much fast food available to us, and even things that we don't think are fast foods actually have too much sugar in them and aren't doing us any benefit at all. So I'll move on to more of that later anyway. But growing up in the country, I was very spoilt because we had an abundance of fresh fruit and vegetables. So for us growing up, if we wanted eggs in the morning, my job was to go after the chook pen, get the eggs nice and warm, bring them back in for the scrambled eggs. If we wanted any fruit and veggies, we had the garden there. Any meats that we had, then it was all out in the farm, in the paddocks, and we always had an abundance of fresh meat. So things like that now are actually, for me growing up, what I considered as normal, just going to the garden and picking your fresh fruit and vegetables or going to get your eggs, and now all called organic vegetables, hormone-free meats, and hormone-free, free-ranging eggs. So we've done a full cycle, and now the fancy word for what we all used to eat in the beginning and how I grew up in the country is clean eating. Have we heard of this? Clean eating, eating wholesome food. So I'll get onto that a little bit more also. So the work-life balance. So, we'll just skip one there. So then I became a natural beauty therapist, moving into my work-life balance because life got very hectic suddenly with all of my TV and film work. And then I went on to study Pilates because of a very bad back injury I had in a hot air balloon accident after we'd finished filming Who Dares Wins. So funny how circumstances in your life then lead on to something that's now become my passion and my career that leads me to teach you here today, to be here sharing this. So both of those things combined led me to recently launch a 6-week Trim and Tone online Pilates program, which means that rather than just being able to speak to lovely people like yourself, people can jump online and learn everything I'm about to share you and more in my online program anywhere in the world. And the book also is due out very soon. So suddenly, here I was, with all the success in the world that I'd ever dreamed of, and I was going crazy. That's pretty much me. I was on the phones, computers, running from airport to airport. I lived on a plane every single day and it got too much. So then I needed to take a little time out because this was me. And who is this half of you in here? Sometimes you feel like this. Every word on there. And we need to slow down, eliminate it. So here's my top 5 tips for achieving balance in the 21st century. Number 1, trim, tone, and feel terrific. So we're far more productive and happier when we feel great about ourselves and our body. That's true, right? When we feel energetic and we're feeling like we're not carrying all those excess kilos, we feel great about ourselves. Pay attention to your health and your waistline and move or exercise a little bit every day. Moving or exercising makes the happy endorphins kick in, the feel-good endorphins. You've heard about these. So when we're tired and sluggish after a long day, usually that's when we need to sit on the couch and go, I can't be bothered doing anything. And I'm there with you, but that's when you need to get up and do something because moving gets those endorphins kicking in and you will feel so much better afterwards. Energized, revitalized. You're moving so your joints are mobile, your body feels better. So our health and how we feel about ourselves affects the quality of our lives, our work, and all the people around us. So if we take care of us, then it spreads like a ripple in the ocean. It spreads on to everybody else in our life. So there's no excuses at all, like I don't have time to look after myself, because make time. And if any of you are lucky enough to go to, Jamie brought out Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did anyone go to Arnold Schwarzenegger? Do you remember Arnold? Someone got up and asked and said, Arnie, you used to get up at 3 a.m. and learn English and then go to be a tradie and then go to acting school and then go to your part-time job and then go to in the gym in the morning, in the gym in the afternoon, etc., etc. And they said, what do you say to people now who say they don't have time to exercise? And he said, sleep faster. I always remember that. I thought that was great. So every time I'm having a day and I'm like, I don't have time, I just remember Arnie's funny to go, sleep faster. So number 2 tip is to fuel your body. Your body is a finely tuned vehicle, and I'm sure this is what Arnie's entire life is about, is finely tuning the vehicle of his body with good foods. So giving it the good fuel, give your body the good food, and it will take you places. And feed yourself the right foods to power through the day. And I've got some tips and exercise breakfasts for you to share. So choose foods in their natural state, known as clean eating that I just mentioned, with no added preservatives, hidden sugars, or other man-made nasties. So clean eating is literally eating as many fresh foods as possible, not out of the packet. That's what it's all about. That's where we're going back to now. You'll see all of your main supermarkets even offering, although it's technically it's a packet, but it's fresh food all ready to go. The vegetables are chopped for you in a packet to make it nice and easy, rather than choosing the frozen ones, rather than choosing something that's deep fried. So when we think we're being healthy sometimes, even by taking a muesli bar to work, that's hidden and laden in sugars, which is detrimental to our weight loss because our body can't break it down, which will go into the big sugar, anti-sugar craze at the moment. So choosing those fresh foods will help to increase your energy levels for the day. It allows your body to function properly as it's supposed to be, it's supposed to do, without trying to break down all these nasty man-made ingredients and substances that we've added to all the meals throughout the years. Number 3 tip to finding balance, turn it off. I'm the biggest culprit of this. Disconnect on the weekend and the evenings. A few hours each night, put the phone down, turn off the computer, and give your brain and nervous system a well-deserved rest. It's hard to do. You should try it. Try turning your phone. Does anyone do it? Put their phone in a drawer at night and not, do you? Do you? Wow. I'm still mastering it. I'm pretty good. I put it down, upside down on silent, and I'll be, no, just leave it there. Enjoy the freedom and the calmness and make conversation with others. If you've ever watched a family or been around a friend's house and you're all sitting on the couch or the dinner table and no one's talking to each other, everyone's on their phone, Facebooking each other, taking selfies, sending them across the table. So make conversations with others, as simple as that. So number 4, tip to finding balance, explore the world. Plan regular short trips away, so weekends, these things that don't cost a lot of money. It might be just organising a day trip out to a lake and packing a little picnic, or organising a cheap bed and breakfast somewhere for the weekend once every few months just to treat yourself, your partner, your family. And also take and plan annual holidays so that you'll always have goals to work towards, and also it'll help you re-energise. Travelling is the world's best education for you and your family. Out of all the schooling that I got, everything that I know in the world, I've learnt from travelling, especially moving to a country like India, where there's something like 26 dialects and 17 religions, and every different street is a different religion, so there'll be different holidays. So you suddenly soon have to learn everything, or you can't get out of your house because there's some festivity going on out there. And 21st Century E-Travel Club, this is super exciting that Jamie and I will be sharing with you this afternoon, makes all this possible at discount rates, plus allows you not only to have a great lifestyle, but allows you to add extra residual income to what you're already making. Great business opportunity. So the 5th tip, find your passion. Without passion, then we're just passengers in life instead of being in the driver's seat and taking control. So now if what you're doing or areas of your life are making you miserable, then take measures to change it because you deserve more. Now, I'm not talking about, doesn't mean like make sudden drastic changes, life-changing changes, but more so just take positive steps to how you'd like your life to be. And I know that that's what Jamie is all about. He's all about mini vacations, taking those, which we'll be able to help you with this afternoon with the 21st Century E-Club, as well as also finding out what your passions are and then turning those into your lifestyle and also your income. So there's the top 5 tips, my top 5 tips to finding balance in this modern day and age. Now I'd like to help you and share with you 3 easy ways to turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Do we want to know this? How do you turn your body? It's easy. I can't believe everyone doesn't know this, so I love getting up, and this is my passion, and sharing all of this with you. So increase your metabolism. Increasing your metabolism helps to burn calories, helps with the body's elimination process to make sure we're detoxified and everything's doing what it should, helps reduce cellulite. So you'll see these reoccurring points in each of my fat-burning ways. How do you increase your metabolism? Well, eat some breakfast. Most importantly, you know it, So don't skip it. I know you've heard, yeah, we all know we should eat breakfast. Well, make sure that you do it, because eating breakfast jumpstarts your metabolism and it keeps your energy high all day. And some great breakfast, well, black coffee in the morning is a fantastic way to kickstart your metabolism. So don't go out there, you don't have 8 coffees in one day, but to kickstart your metabolism after your body has been at rest. So when we sleep, our body is at rest and it's repairing and replenishing our organs and it's doing what it needs to do to get us through the day. So by having a little shot of black coffee, doesn't need to be a shot, but I usually make a black coffee. I have 4 or 5 mouthfuls on the run probably, and my breakfast, and that does help to speed up your metabolism, which of course helps us to burn fat, helps to rid of cellulite, and helps to power through your day. Make sure that you eat enough, most importantly. Fueling your body every few hours helps to keep your metabolism going. So when we don't eat for a few hours, the body goes into starvation mode, and it's like a little chipmunk collecting nuts for the winter and storing them. That's what happens with our body. So when we eat every few hours, it keeps the motor running throughout our body. When we stop eating, and if we think that, well, we need to lose some weight, so I won't eat for 6 hours, that's the worst thing that you can do. Eat more to weigh less is my mantra and how I educate all the people on my program. So by eating those meals every few hours, it stops the body from going into that starvation mode where it starts to store fat, thinking, I don't know when I'm going to get my next meal, so I'll start to store some reserves. That's what's happening. So if you keep eating, that doesn't happen. Include protein in every meal. When in doubt, snacking, have protein. You should write that down. Number 1 tip, when in doubt with snacking, have protein. Almonds, some cottage cheese on some rice crackers, boiled eggs. 2 boiled eggs with some chili flakes sprinkled on them are one of my top 5 tips to have. Pure protein. Protein builds muscle, which burns fat. So, same with strength training, and when we start to do our exercises, when we have our muscle denseness, then it means that we are burning more fat. So when we're flabby a little bit, it's not burning the fat. Nice, strong, lean muscle that we get from walking, exercising, strength training with some small weights, doesn't have to be heavy. Lady, you are not going to end up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger from doing weights. Not at all. And spice up your life with chili flakes. So to increase your metabolism, chili flakes, cayenne pepper, turmeric, and cinnamon all help to raise the body temperature, and then that helps to speed up the metabolism to burn the fat. So putting these things as simple as cinnamon, or perhaps on some toast in the morning, cinnamon in your tea even, cinnamon in your protein shakes, chili flakes and cayenne pepper and turmeric, they're pretty easy. Chili flakes on boiled eggs, I put chili flakes on absolutely everything. I do, and I must say it's really addictive, so when you start, hands look at me. Yeah, so when you start, very addictive. All right, so moving on now, we've got increase your circulation. So this is the number 2 way to turn your body into a fat-burning machine, because it improves lymphatic system's ability to detoxify. My tongue's not there today. So again, that's a recurring theme of eliminating the body's, getting the body to eliminate and work through that detoxifying process, helping to eliminate the toxins. Again, increasing circulation helps reduce the cellulite. We've seen that reoccurring. Increases the oxygen and nutrient supply to blood, which helps burn calories as a result. So again, the metabolism, speeding up the metabolism, increasing circulation are both helping to burn the fat and burn the calories to help us stay trim and efficient. It's not about trim. It's just about any excess weight that we may be carrying that's not necessary. Ways to increase your circulation. We know it. Exercise, walking. You know it, but get out and do it. Herbs and spices, as we just learnt just then. Drinking more water or coconut water to increase the circulation. It helps keep the body flushed out the entire time. Does anyone here, do you have coconut water? Yes, we do. You do? Yeah, great. It's amazing, isn't it? And chili. Wow, good for you. Yes. You like a bit of spice in your life by the sounds of it? Nice. Well, if you weren't aware, coconut water is the closest thing to plasma in your blood. It's nature's hydrator. There's nothing else like it in the world, and now in our Western world, especially here in Australia, it's everywhere. You can buy it in packaged containers and things. So make sure that if you are having coconut water, it's 100% coconut water. No mango, pineapple added to it. You can put those in your green smoothies later, but just have pure coconut water, 100%. Coconut water, it has every nutrient and mineral that you need to survive. And literally in India, when we do our detox tours or yoga retreats. The Indians over there have full detoxes for days on end where all they have is coconut water to flush out their systems. And the point of detoxifying is not to starve yourself. That's not what's happening, because you're still having something, even if it's in a liquid form with the liquid diets, to make sure that the body is still working through. But when we have liquids, it just gives our body a chance to stop trying to break down food, big chunks of food we eat, and it allows the liquid to go through our body. The body can take all the nutrients that it needs, and then the rest of the parts of the body can repair the vital organs. So that's the point of detoxing and liquid diets that you may hear about. All right, so increasing hydration. Here's a third way to turn your body into a fat-burning machine, because again, it helps eliminate toxins from the body. See the reoccurring theme with these three ways. Helps to reduce cellulite, helps improve health, and therefore you get clearer, brighter skin. Your eyes are nice and bright also. Keeping hydrated can plump up your skin also, so it gives you a more youthful appearance. If you notice when you're dry and dehydrated, the skin seems to shrink a little bit. By keeping it plump and hydrated, then it means you're looking nice and youthful. Now, how to do that? Again, drink more water / coconut water to help burn fat and increase weight loss. With coconut water, I probably have 4 or 5 tins a day of my preferred brand, Beyond Coconut Water, that I like. And you can substitute half water, half coconut, glasses of water with some coconut water, or just have lots and lots of coconut water or lots and lots of water. You really can't go wrong with when it comes to hydration. So sugar. Moving on to sugar, which we've heard a lot about in the news lately. Who's been eliminating sugar out of their diets a little bit, slowly reducing, cutting back, finding a difference?
Yeah, it's in everything. It's so like reading the label. It's in everything.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? You think, all right, I'll have a muesli bar, nice and healthy, full of sugar. Well, unless you read the label closely. And I'm amazed at how much this country and other countries get away with all of the hidden nasty sugars that they put in the foods they then label natural and healthy or low fat, etc. And don't also get confused between low fat. Sometimes we hear on the news, we shouldn't have low fat at all. We should have full fat. With the two of them, well, it's really only a personal preference in many ways, because a lot of people don't like the creaminess of full fat. Example, myself, and I would always choose cottage cheese light or sour cream light, because I don't like the taste of full creaminess. But what's happened with the light is they've taken out of all the fat, obviously, and then to keep the taste okay, they've put a few of the hidden sugars into the light. So it's whether you go with the extra fat or do you go with a little bit of the hidden sugars. So it's a bit like, you weigh it up for your own taste buds with that one. So sugar, see that top line there? That is it. This is how simple it is to reduce weight in our modern day. Reduce sugar, reduce your weight. It's that simple. Any sugar not found in its natural form or state should be avoided. So added sugars and artificial sweeteners found in processed man-made foods we're talking about are some of the worst ingredients in our modern diet. So, but sugar's natural. Well, yes, it is. Sugar cane, stevia plant, and things like that. But what happens is man gets hold of it, strips back all the goodness, bleaches it to look good, refines it, does a few more other things, and then puts it in a packet and gives it to us and throws away all the goodness, pretty much. A bit like with your rice, and when the husk and is removed from the rice and it ends up with the white, little bleached white rice, which we shouldn't have. Body doesn't know what to do with these man-made products. If you think about your body as that engine, so for thousands and thousands of years, it's designed to process the whole foods, fresh gardens and fruits and veggies, and also the meats that we would eat. It's all designed for our body to be able to process that properly. So as the years progress and man decides to jazz things up and reinvent the wheel with the food, the body doesn't know what to do with it. So insulin starts to go up and down. Diabetes happens in all the countries, especially in our country. Obesity, I can't believe the statistics with our country of where obesity is headed, and a lot of it because of all the packaged foods. So the simplest thing is just to remove some of the packaged foods that you're eating and opt for the fresh fruit and veggies. So rather than buying a pre-packaged meal that's got the rice and the meats and the veggies in it, just make your own. Then you know what goes into it. You can control the sugars. Same with your cakes and your sweets and things like that. Once you start to eliminate some sugar from your diet, you'll find that when you go to buy that muffin, that blueberry muffin at the cafe, that it'll be far too full of sugar and you won't actually be able to have it. So you can wean your taste buds off slightly. Sugar is an empty calorie, absolutely no nutritional value to our body whatsoever. It contains no essential vitamins and minerals, and it's pretty much a waste of time even having it. A carbohydrate it is, and it stores easily on the body as fat. It takes away from our actual fat burning ability, so while it's being stored as fat, it takes away from our body's own ability to be able to burn fat instead of actually turning our body working to turn muscle into our long lean muscle to help burn the fat, if that makes any sense there. So our bodies can't burn the energy, or the quicklies, so quickly is stored as fat. Man-made sugars act like a drug. So the first thing in the morning, we might put a little bit of sugar into our cup of tea or our coffee. Our cereals are all sugar. Sorry, just don't have cereals, all sugar. So you have those and you get that little sugar high first thing in the morning and you come crashing down. The body says, I need more sugar, have a little bit more sugar, and you're reaching for the morning muffin. A little bit more and you come crashing down by lunchtime. That's how that cycle happens. So by the time 3 or 4 in the afternoon comes, you're just on this big sugar headache, sugar rush. You're like going, I need sugar. So it really is a very addictive drug. Oops, we've gone through on too far there. So we feel low in energy and lethargic, so that's when we start to reach for something else because we have that loss of energy. So it drives us to eat more than we need without actually burning it off. So again, eating those clean, wholesome foods throughout the day helps to keep your insulin levels nice and even, and then come evening time, when we've eaten enough during the day, we barely even feel hungry enough to have a huge dinner. We can just have a rather small one. So in summary here, eliminating the added sugars is the simplest and fastest way to clean up any diet and lose weight. So try this even throughout today, maybe not today, then start tomorrow in the morning. Don't have the cereal, reach for the eggs perhaps. I'll go through some of the breakfasts. A couple of poached eggs, some avocado on toast, even on light rye. Ladies, any trouble with bloating, just cut the wheat out and choose light rye or sourdough. You'll be amazed at how flatter your stomach is and how much better you feel for it. For some reason, we're just not designed to have the wheats. So if food is packaged, then it's likely to contain harmful additive sugars with lots of calories and no nutrients. So when in doubt, read the label and you'll be totally amazed at what goes in. Processed sugar prevents us from burning fats. It adds extra fat to our body, slows down the fat burning process, which promotes fat storage, which is what we don't want. That's not where we're headed. So if you need a sweetener, opt for stevia, which is made from a natural plant, or even sultanas. I put sultanas in all my baking needs, which are fantastic because it sweetens up any cakes and muffins that you're making. With stevia, you only need like 1/4 teaspoon, and that's it's just amazing the sweetness of it. So about 1/4 teaspoon replaces pretty much about 1/4 cup of your other sugar, and you still get the same sweetness that you need in your baking needs. And in my online program, we have about over 100 recipes, and then my own personal recipes throughout the years that I've created and devised, ones that I have every single day, use all week long, and all of them are low sugar and no sugar. So I literally find my favorite recipe, and then I devise a way using all my nutritional background and studies to be able to turn it into a low-fat, sugar, high kind of, fat-burning meal. Lots of sweet treats on there. So how we look after our bodies in our 20s and 30s shows in our 40s and 50s. But the great news is that it's never too late to start. So everything that we do in our day now reflects in our body, in our face, in our weight as the years progress. So take charge of your life just like you are with your finances and where you're headed, your future, and invest in your health just as well as that you're investing in your financial education. So here's a little bit about my 6-week Trim and Tone online Pilates and weight loss program. Pilates I discovered after the back injury I just mentioned, and a physio advised me, this is going back 20 years ago now, before Pilates was really even heard of, and it was one of the footballer doctors, and he said to me that they've got this new way of helping all of the footballers with a lot of their injuries called Pilates, and that I should go along and it would help strengthen my core and help with my back problems. Now here, 2 ruptured discs for an action girl. They said you won't be throwing kicks with kickboxing anymore and you won't be jumping off buildings and doing that. And I said, well, anything is possible. There's no such word as can't. So Pilates helped me immensely. I noticed that when I first started it, not only did it help strengthen my core and be able to give me more mobility with my back, even to this day I'm great with it, but it also, I noticed how quickly I got a really tight toned tummy, ladies, and a nice firm butt. And great for your arms and your whole body, and you feel long and lean and stand nice and tall and proud. So I thought, this is something that everybody needs to know about it. So I became a Pilates instructor on top of all my TV and film studies, and then also went on to be a Pilates bar instructor, which is a lot more of the leg work that we do. So my online program has all of that there. I go around the country, film all my online workouts, and we pop them up. Beautiful locations like Fiji and Exmouth, all the beach backgrounds. Ladies, just click play, and there are all the videos to help you trim and tone. Guys, there's some there for your back and to increase strength also. Over 100 recipes also on my program, and great community spirit. There's a community page which has direct access to me and all the other ladies that are on the program, all of their great success stories on there. And it really humbles me now, apart from all my TV and media work that I still do and the book that launches next week, to be able to help and hear everyone's stories about how much I've been able to help them, whether it's increase energy level, whether it's to help with a back problem. So just in summary now, I would like to, a very special offer for everybody in here today. It is a 6-week trim and tone program, and you do get 2 extra bonus weeks on top. So that means that if you'd like to join, you get a couple of weeks to play around with the recipes, the websites, try the online workouts. There's about 20 of them there, all the videos. And then you can start the program, your 6-week trim and tone with all the meal plans when you're ready. But as a special offer today, I would like to offer everyone here an extra 1 month. So that means you're getting 2.5 months of the program, and it works out to about $1.20 a day for all. Now, who goes to Pilates? Anyone here go to Pilates? It's about $25. Do you do reformer or mat? Mat, yeah. So what? So we pay $18, $20 a class or something? 25. It's anywhere from $18 to $25 a class. So anyway, to be able to have access to all of my online workouts for only $1.20 a day, plus all of the recipes and things, I think you'll see that that's pretty good. So come and see me after the class if you'd like to find out more, and sign up today to get your extra month. And as an extra added offer, we are going to give away 2 of my online programs here today. So even if you were to join up and then you were the lucky winner at the end of the day, then we just obviously comp that back to you again. So at the back of the room, Fabe and the Stu and Dell at the back have got some forms. Just jot down your name and your email address. Thank you, Stu, doing the pointing. Pop down your name and email address, and you might be one of the lucky 2 winners today, and then you'll also receive a lot of my health tips out in the newsletter. So thank you very much for having me up here today. Have a long, lean, healthy, prosperous lifestyle. I look forward to chatting you throughout the day.
Fantastic presentation.